guys, it's me, Debbie. Since becoming a mom, I have been pretty busy, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to research the latest diet trends and fads. But what I have been doing is hitting up the mommy message boards and Facebook groups to try to determine the best way to feed my baby. Now, what I keep hearing about is this thing called Baby Led Weaning, or BLW for short. I'm not gonna lie, Abby, I'm kind of a control freak. So the thought of letting my baby be in control of what they eat is totally freaking me out. But please, weigh in on this, Abby. What are your thoughts on baby-led weaning? Debbie, my fellow mama, I am so excited to hear from you, and I'm excited that you're actually starting to introduce solids to your babe. So baby-led weaning is definitely a really trendy topic right now, and I am actually a really big fan. So baby-led weaning basically means that you're introducing handheld finger foods to baby first, rather than spoon-fed purees. So the theory behind this method is that since we allow babies to crawl, walk, and talk at their own pace, eating really should be no different. So this style of eating has been emphasized by infant feeding expert Ellen Satter's division of responsibility. And this essentially means that a parent's job is to determine what, when, and where a baby eats, and the baby's job is to determine how much and whether or not they eat at all. Well, that all sounds nice, but how do we make sure that the baby's getting all of the nutrients that they need? I mean, I keep hearing over and over again about the importance of iron for babies. How is it that my baby is going to understand the importance of iron? Well, Debbie, as a parent, your job is to offer lots of iron-rich foods, and their job is to determine how much and what they eat of those. Over time, if you offer them regularly, your baby will eat enough. There are a ton of baby-led weaning appropriate foods that are rich in iron. Things like meat, eggs, nut butters, broccoli, fish, and beans. So just make sure that those kinds of foods are in abundance at mealtime. Also, a study compared baby-led weaners to babies who were fed traditional purees and found no difference in their iron status, meaning that no one group got more iron than the other. Well, what about growth? Will my baby get enough food at mealtime if they're in charge of their eating independently? I don't want my baby falling off her growth chart. Studies have actually found no difference in BMI between baby-led weaners and babies who are fed purees. This just goes to show how incredibly smart our babies are when it comes to their bodies. As adults, we have to kind of reteach ourselves how to listen to our bodies. But babies are intuitive eating gurus, so they know how to get enough. Honestly, we could totally learn a few things from our kids. Okay, well, if they're getting enough food, can overfeeding happen? I don't want a fat baby! Interestingly enough, one study found that baby-led weaners had lower risk of obesity because they had a chance to practice self-regulation from an earlier age. And yes, I'm using quotations when I talk about obesity because that concept is actually quite problematic, but I'm gonna save that for another video. So like I mentioned before, baby-led weaning gives babies some independence and allows them to listen to their body's cues. However, as an adult, as the parent, it's our job to actually recognize some of those fullness cues. So some of the common fullness cues include turning their head away, closing their mouth when food is offered, or getting really upset when food is offered. These are some of the signs that our baby has had enough to eat. And even though I know it's hard not to want them to eat more, it's really important that we listen to those cues and trust them and back off. Okay, but if you're letting baby be in charge, won't they just eat junk food all day? I mean, if I were to listen to my body, I'd be washing down the Krispy Kremes with margaritas all day. I need strict food rules. Well, Dad, this is where our role as parents really come into play because it's our job to offer a lot of nutritionally dense foods so that baby can get lots of vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. Another cool fact about baby-led weaning is that kids who are fed this way tend to have lower rates of picky eating. And this is because probably the kids are exposed to more textures and flavors from a very young age. Okay, but does my baby have the skills to do this at such a young age? Like pick food up and bring it to her mouth? Sounds advanced. I mean, she's just a baby. That's the magic of baby-led weaning. As they start to self-feed themselves, they'll start to improve their skills in their dexterity and their hand-eye coordination. They'll also learn how to create a bolus in their mouth and then swallow it. This means that you can actually enjoy your meal too, Deb, because you won't have to do so much micromanaging by spoon feeding them. Well, one of the things I'm kind of liking about purees is that I don't have to worry about the risk of choking. Won't baby-led weaning increase the risk of choking because they're eating whole pieces of food? Scary! I totally get the fear and concern around choking, but research has actually found that the risk of choking is a lot less than you think. On top of that, research has found that by 8 months, baby-led weaning infants actually gag less often than spoon-fed babies. Having said that, there are some really important steps and tips to help reduce the risk of choking. Number 1, supervise. Get off of your Instagram feed and pay attention to your kid during mealtime. Number 2, know the difference between choking, which is problematic, and gagging, which is totally normal. Choking is often silent and often they can actually turn blue, whereas gagging is really loud and usually quite dramatic and very, very, very normal. Number 3, make sure that your kid is sitting upright and has some good neck support. A nice good high chair can definitely help with that. Number 4, avoid small, hard, round objects or foods that could get lodged in the baby's throat. So things like cherry tomatoes or grapes. Those things can always be served, but you definitely want to make sure that you're cutting them in half or quarters. Number 5, limit distractions at mealtime. That means no TV and no toys, and in some cases, maybe get your in-laws out of there as well. And number 6, and probably most importantly, please take a CPR course. This is going to make you so much more confident, and in the case that, God forbid, anything did happen, you will be prepared. Gotcha. Okay, well, my doctor said I can start solids as early as 4 months. Can I start baby-led weaning at that age as well? So based on the research, most babies are not ready for baby-led weaning solids until around 6 months. However, all babies are different, and it could be a little bit before this or a little bit after. So look for the signs of readiness. These include your baby can sit up without support and has really good control of its head, neck, and trunk. Your baby opens his mouth when the food is coming towards him. Your baby is ready and wanting to chew. Your baby's lost their tongue thrust reflex, which basically means when food goes into their mouth, they don't automatically just push it back out with their tongue. And finally, the baby actually wants to participate in meal times by grabbing at food and looking like they actually want to eat with the rest of the family. So Debbie, I hope that gave you a little bit of inspiration to get started with baby-led weaning. I recognize that baby-led weaning is not for all moms or dads, and it's definitely not for all babies. But if you're interested in starting out with baby-led weaning, definitely follow along this channel because I'm going to have tons more videos to help get you started. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with any questions that you might have related to baby feeding or baby food or baby-led weaning. I would love to answer them in an upcoming video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!